Boa noite a todos, sejam todos
Good
bem-vindos.
evening, everyone. Welcome to everyone that are gathered here. Let's start our meeting. I would like to invite everyone to do a Q&A about. I would invite Mr. Thomas Leon from Peru to make our prayer. Good evening, leaders, Tamil families. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to join in prayer. So, lovely true parents, heavenly parents of humankind, good evening. We are grateful for this amazing day because we are gathering here in each day in order to conclude this mission by seeing the witnessing the testimonies of all the families with our dedicating themselves into this activity, because we know as we go into this way we are approaching of your will. We are learning and having new tools to substantialize this job, this work. So we would like to be inspired by you to move the hearts of people. So we wanna be inspired by you in order to give them the words of divine principle, because they need this light of words. So please inspire our Continental Director, Reverend King, in order that everyone that are gathered here can receive your inspiration. I report this prayer and name of our family. And you. Thank you so much for prayer. So today we're gonna have 3 testimonies. I will tell you now the program. First will be Mrs. Kayla from Brazil. Second will be Mr. Jose Hernandez from Paraguay. And the third one will be Mr. Joseph from Peru. And after our presentations, we're gonna have a Q&A section based on the testimonies. So now to begin, we're gonna receive Mrs. Kayla Sofia da Silva from Brazil. Let's give her a big round of applause. Good evening, everyone, brothers and sisters. Reverend King and all central figures. I'm Kayla Sofia. I'm blessed with Maria. Good evening. We're gonna give our report about our HTM activities. So we concluded the 430 horizontal blessings and 15 days. But
saía das 2 da tarde, ficava até às 5 da tarde.
During all those 15 days, we went 3 twice or 3 days in a week. So it was truly dependable on our free time, especially in the morning and in the field outside, and we were doing these activities in the morning, and we passed it 1 hour to have lunch, and then in the noon we went again. And through this process we got a really good result. Because of the corona pandemic, we know that a lot of people were really closed, so we didn't know if they will be open or not, because we know everyone was really afraid to get this virus. but through our union with our central figure and with God, the God of the will God, and our directions with the motivation of Reverend King, we got a lot of inspiration and confidence to accomplish our 5% of responsibility. And we know that in behalf of our responsibility, God and the spiritual world can help. So before we went to the activities, we always do a prayer in order to mobilize the spiritual world. And one day before too, I always ask it in my prayers to the spiritual world to mobilize the herd of people for them to accept the wine, the words of the divine principle, and all these explanations. And we learned it a lot in our full-time life when we were inner members, that we need to offer to some in order to the spiritual world works and understand what is the purpose. For example, we need to say for them, I want to give 20 blessings and during 2 hours, and give the exact direction. We always went to the activities with 4 or 3 sisters, each one fitted into a door to don't lose any home, and 2 of them were missionaries. And we did a group of prayer with the members, and we did a lot of fasting times too in order to ask for the protection, spiritual and physical, for the families with we were given the wine, especially because of the COVID pandemic, and that we felt too that people are approaching themselves more of God in order to protect themselves of this COVID-19. So they are sensible to all of this that are happening. So we have some pictures with our central figure and the other sisters. And always that people observed me, staring at me, they kept telling me, oh, are you from any church? And that's why I believe that our image is really important, because they need to see and feel that we are persons that they can trust. We need to pass them sermons about our purpose. So the big majority of people were accepting in a really kind way. In a group of 20 persons, for example, one person did accept it. The big majority were confident and they were open to receive this blessing. And I was always carrying a book to get the dates of them and to continue with this process. And I explained it in the propose of this part of the process.
Nós deixávamos o vinho com a esposa.
And sometimes just one of the couple were in home, and in these cases we just delivered the wine in order to them to give for the other, and we explained it that this one were alone needed only to drink a half of a cup, and we explained all the meaning of the wine too, and we did everything in connection with the protocol of coronavirus. And always we prayed to God to protect that family, because he received this blessing. So we always ask it on our prayers for protection to these families that were receiving the wine. So we always like to go to zones that were really simple as favelas and cities of the countryside too in our state, Alagoas. And people always were sharing experience with us. Some of them even cried because this wine is really deeper, and a lot of them told us you are building the heaven on earth, and we are really grateful for your job, and please continue with this mission. A lot of persons will accept this blessing. So a lot of people got emotionalist during our prayer, during the words that we gave them. And I really highly recommend that everyone goes forward, even that we are into the circumstances when we are given good conditions to the spiritual work. It will truly work with us because we are offering a heart of determination. So now that we concluded the 430, we are still going to the roads in order to help other sisters to conclude this 430 as well. And I always trust into the foundation of people. I know God is preparing persons for us. I truly believe. So now I have a reflection of true parents that it says, don't avoid the conflict and don't hate the uncomfortable situation. We need to pass from them in order to achieve the success. So don't have afraid. We have the spiritual word protecting us, and now we are preparing ourselves to receive the blessing of registration of Chumbo families in October. And for sure, everyone here are gonna have victory if you follow this way. I desire that God and your parents bless all of you. Thank you so much. Bye. So thank you so much for your testimony. Let's now receive other testimonies from Mr. Hernandez from Paraguay. Let's give a big round of applause to him. So good evening, everyone, brothers and sisters, especially to our continental leader, Reverend Kim. I'm gonna do a brief testimony today. This is the advances with we are going into in order to become Chambo families. This is my family, Hernandez Aquino family. We are in Paraguay right now, developing this mission, our activities. All those activities that we are being developing is being a fruit of a trinity of three families. One family is the parents of my wife and the uncle and wife of my wife and our family. So three families together are doing home group activities and developing and affording themselves in order to achieve this purpose of become Chambo family. I think that the most strange foundation that we got was beyond our team building work, and especially because we got a lot of inspiration through all other testimonies that we heard in here in our classes. So my mother-in-law has been working a lot with her family, and especially in some cities of the countryside. So we gave some wines from them, even some nieces and brothers and sisters, a lot of distant familiaries too, in order for them to one day become blessed families. And in my part, here I'm giving some lectures to some part of my family. Part of my family are from Peru, and my parents receiving the blessing in the 19 years, but for because of a lot of facts, they got distance from our church. So right now, in this time, I'm working for them to come again, to connect themselves with true parents. And now we have some pictures of some guidance that we are giving them. Our church are giving our support in order to bring back the persons with God distance from our church. So now we have some pictures here of the last blessings that we gave. In the first moment, I would like to say sorry for two parents because I didn't could conclude everything until now. But I for sure I would like to have concluded into a lot of time ago, but we know a lot of time has passed. But we truly determined ourselves right now in this moment to go forward and conclude everything. And these pictures were some of activities we did the Sundays and some simple zones. And we felt that in those areas, people doesn't show us problems to receive this wine. Even some of them are Christians of our other churches, but they are really open to receive this wine without any kind of excuse. And something that I noticed is that with this COVID pandemic, we felt that we have a lot of opportunities to approach of people and give the wine for them. And during these 2 years that I'm trying to conclude, I felt that especially now we have a lot of more facilities to approach people and give them the words and the wine and all those educational process. And we know that we can realize everything in a really more quickly way than before. We are going home to home and the squares with my mother-in-law too, because my wife right now is going some illness, so she's not going. So this one is my mother-in-law that is going with me, with my mother-in-law and other and a cousin of mine too. So as you can see, we are going into a really simple zones, and we feel that people are waiting for our blessing. And we can realize this kind of feeling when we are in the front line. Even though we couldn't conclude everything, the 430, we felt that we are developing ourselves into this way. We receive it, a guidance, our nationality to do a condition of 40 days, going home to home, and it conclude everything at once right now. So we are managing this project in order to conclude, to substantialize this 430. and conclude our mission. And about our mission of substantialized for okay, in about the liberation of ancestors, we could conclude the 430 liberations, and we have a testimony about my father, and he was almost going to surgery. He was almost dying, and he told me, I have some money, save it, and I don't know how to do with this money. And the first thing that came at my mind was we need to conclude our ancestors' liberation, and then send me this money with his save it. And that maybe if my father hadn't gone into those illness, he wouldn't send me this money. So I felt that the spiritual worked really hard into the circumstances that he was sick. And then some weeks after this happened, we did this offering to liberate and to give the blessing to ancestors too. So that's why we could conclude. And the remaining activity is the blessing and conclude the 430. I think that the root of the success of our meeting is to go out and to break the comfort of zone, our zone of comfort. We need to break those boundaries. During a lot of time, I procrastinate this mission. I was always telling myself, oh, okay, I need to wait to this pandemic to finish, but I know the spiritual work prepared myself and prepared a lot of persons for us. Because even when we visit the home and no one go out, we spread some blessed water in order to receive this person. And a lot of times once I did, not too much time had passed, the person arrives. And we explained it. We always explained, so we have a blessed wine for you. And it's automatic. They said, okay, I want to receive it. And we ask their name in a simple way. We ask them some dates of them as well. So this is a really wonderful and beautiful experience, and I determined myself to accomplish this mission. Not as a compromise, but because I feel that this is our responsibility to, and somehow, to help to help God and to console his heart. So thank you so much. This is all that I wanted to share. So thank you so much for your testimony. And we are going to advance in our program with Senor Marcelo from Ecuador. Let's give a big round of applause. Good evening, everyone. We are arranging the share screen.
¿Puede permitir? Ya, gracias.
Sí, está listo.
Ok, gracias.
Buenas tardes, Reverendo Kim, 안녕하십니까. Buenas tardes, hermanos y hermanas de Latinoamérica.
Good evening, everyone from Latin America. So we are from Ecuador. We received the blessing in 2009. We would like to share our HTM activities. Those are some pictures of our blessing to 430. We live in a countryside, and the ancestors of my husband, every one of them are ancient families with living in the exactly home where we live. We have a lot of families that live around, surrounding us. So as oikos that we develop with our neighbors and families that live in our family, in our cities, even people that sell things on the stalls, we always went to them in order to give the wine. I prepared some sets of wine to go home by home, and I explained people about what is blessings, and we never knows about who's we are gonna find in the street. And so we try to effort ourselves to develop friendships with people, because always that I thought I want to give the blessing. Somehow the spiritual word inspired me about to go into that person or in the other person. Because if we don't have a pure connection with God and your parents, sometimes we go into our home and the owner almost went out, and so that's why we need to keep attention on the signals of spiritual words. Until March of 2020, we were doing home by home. We are going to the roads, but because of the lockdown, we couldn't do a lot. But through our online activities, we could bit by bit realize our oikos and our blessings. Then right now, we have here some pictures of our home group and one-to-one, because after we gave the wine, we got some dates of them, and we presented them about the home group and one-to-one if they were interested in receive more words of the one principle. So we are giving one-to-one of the one principle with this girl and the right picture. We were doing online, we still were, and with her mother too. And she asked me to teach Japanese. So this is other form to build oikos. But I invited her as well to meetings of YSP, and she liked it a lot, all those contents and projects, and I continued giving divine principle lectures to her. And through the social medias, we could share about the rally of hope, and we have some content of the radio company of Ecuador. In my case, we met a guy on the street, and we testified about the rally, and he accepted to transmit the rally of hope through social medias and through the radio too. And on this so in this left picture, this guy with we met on the street, he accepted to open a part of his channel to transmit an interview with peace ambassadors. And in this right picture, we have a picture of the transmission of Think Tank 2022. And more than 30,000 people joined it through this transmission, because through the online platform, we don't have any boundary. Everyone can watch, can join. So right now we gave the blessing. We gave a blessing to indigenous community. And one person of this community 30 years ago connected to church, and he knew something, but he got distant. But right now, in our current moment, he connected again and asked us to give the blessing to give the blessing to catechists of this church. And we were invited to give this blessing, but only half of the catechists receiving the blessing. And right now we are gonna mark our other date to give the blessing to the other half of this group. And we are doing prayer meeting every day, 5 a.m. with the dedication of the members. Spiritual Word has been working. And a lot of groups, like indigenous and cultural groups, are appearing to receive this blessing through miracles. And we are working to achieve the blessing to become Chambo families. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for this presentation and for all the persons with gave testimonies. We're gonna begin our Q&A section right now. The one who's has any question can raise your hand. We're gonna abilitate the audio for you.
Tá bom? Tá gravando, quero fazer uma pergunta.
Senhora Elma Rosane, pode fazer sua pergunta, por favor?
This
Boa
is
noite.
Elma.
Bom, a minha dúvida é assim.
So my question is,
A senhora Maria, né, Ordo Cordaço e seu esposo Danilo
is
Cordaço,
for Mrs. and Mr. Cordasso. They accomplished the blessing of 430.
recebeu a bênção com o Camilo.
horizontal
O caminho
blessings.
único. Nós conversamos essa semana. Para mim, falta pouco, tanto horizontal como vertical, muito pouco. E como eles já terminaram, a nossa dúvida é a seguinte: como o Camilo é filho único, o Camilo e a Ellie vão ter que fazer 50 bênçãos horizontais, mesmo os pais já tendo cumprido as
The
duas?
parents of my son-in-law already accomplished all the blessings, 430. So in this case, would they need to give 15 blessings?
Vocês ouviram?
Ok. Essa é uma pergunta geral, né? Não é uma pergunta para apresentadores. Sim, quando os pais fazem a bênção,
So yes, in this case, when the parents already achieved this mission
fazer todos os requisitos também, né? Horizontal e também vertical.
of accomplish the 430, the sons and daughters needs to make all these requirements. They need to accomplish it all the process.
Você pode fazer essa pergunta, por favor?
So Pastor Volser, good evening, everyone. I would like to ask something for the family of Ecuador. So, did you contact it, or how did you contact it, the catechist church? Do you have any signal, or how do you do?
Juan Bautista, él es líder.
El que se contactó, lo que pasa que ya hace mucho tiempo.
So the one who contacted us was the leader of this community. So just by case, he contacted us again 10 years that had passed from the first contact. This leader of this Catholic community that are indigenous, and through him we could get a lot of other communities and give the blessings. So he is for us as John Baptist. So he is connecting us to the other communities. And some of them are Christians too, and some are Catholics, and others are indigenous. So this is really interesting. So this is the way that we are connecting with these communities through this priest that is the leader of the Catholic Church, and he has a lot of knowledge of other communities. So he is asking us to go to other communities. But this is really interesting, and thank you so much for the question.
Pastor Marcos, pode fazer sua pergunta, por favor?
So, Pastor Marcus, can you make your question?
Boa noite.
Good evening, everyone.
Pelo trabalho dos nossos
So, felicitations for all the hard work of our brothers and sisters.
a pergunta que eu ia fazer.
So, Pastor Bosser did a question that I wanted to do, but I would like to ask for Mrs. Kayla, Sophia, about what is the major difficulty that she met to go out home by home to give the blessings.
Olá, Pastor Marcos.
So, hello, Pastor Marcus. So, for me,
Sinceramente,
to be honest,
eu não tive dificuldade.
I didn't had any boundary to go and to be it home by home, but the bigger challenge that I had sometimes
A preguiça, né?
was like
A disposição de sair, né? Porque a gente andava bastante, muita ladeira, a gente tinha que subir.
was the laziness to go out sometimes because we had
Antes eu for, eu vou cumprir logo, o resultado tá bom, então eu motivação a Deus ia. Acho que lá com as
We
pessoas
needed to up some hills. It was more related to the laziness, but I thought, okay, as much quickly as I go, more earlier I'm gonna accomplish. And sometimes too, other difficulty was to lead with the reaction of people about to drink the wine. Some of them were afraid of us too. Some thought that we were going to steal something of them. But I always mobilized the spiritual work for them to help us. And I always explained to them that they depended of this responsibility. And we always told them that we depend of you. You need to help me to until this victory, and you will be benefited through all those blessings. So we're always really confident on the spiritual word and helped word as well. This is all. Oh, Mr. Arnaldo, can you make your question? Can you mute yourself?
Estamos escutando.
Agora liguei. Me
Sim,
ouve?
estamos
Now is activated the audio. Good evening, everyone.
Gostaria de agradecer a todos aí pelo
I
testemunho.
would like
Experiência interessante, né?
to thank everyone for all the testimonies. We already accomplished the 430 before the COVID pandemic, and I would like to make a question. It's a public question. I would like to ask something related to second generation that will receive a blessing, that they must accomplish all the requirements too. But my point is, they need to do
vertical também, libertação e bênção.
Pagar
todas as taxas também, mesmo que os seus pais já
they need to do liberation and blessings of ancestors as well. And they need to accomplish vertical and horizontal blessings of 130, yes or not? So in accordance with their rules, not only on Chambo and not only in Chambo,
Então não tem mais que fazer.
but in HTM School too, they don't need to make liberation and blessing as again, but they need to certificate themselves because they inherited this foundation of the parents.
Então, se os dois pais tiverem concluído, uma coisa que acontece às vezes é que
if the mother and the father already concluded the blessings and the liberation of ancestors, they're okay. They do not need to make liberation and blessings as well.
Não, né? Para poder tirar o certificado e se registrar como Chombo, o casal.
So, but they need to make a registration in the Chombo office to present on the registration to become family Chombo family.
O departamento Chombo.
And they need to present that they already inherited on this foundation.
Não pagaram de novo.
So in the last registration, we had some cases like that. So only to confirm.
Então, se, por exemplo, a família da moça fez, tanto do pai dela quanto da mãe dela, ela não precisa mais fazer, mas o marido não fez nenhum dos dois. Então, o marido...
So if the daughter has their parents that already conclude the blessings and liberation of ancestors already finished, the daughter doesn't need to make anything, right? Okay. Yes, that's all.
Senhora Julie Silva, pode fazer sua pergunta, por favor?
Sí, buenas noches.
So good evening, everyone.
Agradecer a las
I would like
familias que hoy
to thank
compartido
for the families with Sherbet,
testimonio,
their
muy
testimonies,
motivados.
and I am really inspired and motivated from them.
Lo han indicado, pero sí, por favor, nuevamente a todas las familias quisiera saber o quizá tal
I
vez
would
podrían aconsejarme algún recurso
I would like to hear
justamente
some
para
counsels of those families with Sherbet
familia a quien se
about when
vino sagrado ellos
the family that we wanna give the blessings has
a veces
has
tiene algo, ¿no? Que le vamos a hacer algo
some fears regarding the drink of the wine. So how can we lead when families that we want to give the wine are filled fears to drink the wine? How can we pass confidence to them? How can we pass them the sensation that they can drink without any problem? So sometimes when we met those kind of persons with afraid to drink the wine, we always tell them that we will never make any something bad to them. And we almost played with them. We tell them if we were doing something to them to die, every one of this one would die because everyone has already drunk this wine. And we insisted a lot for them to drink and to receive our words. And sometimes, even though with our explication they didn't want it to receive the wine, we always just tell them, okay, God bless you, and we continue the activity.
Tem alguém mais que gostaria de fazer alguma pergunta?
Someone else wanted to make a question?
Pode levantar a mão.
You can raise your hand.
Pastor Marcos, pode fazer sua pergunta?
Pastor Marcos.
Só para
So to Nilsson, I would like to complement this question that asked about persons would have fears to receive the wine. So here in Rio de Janeiro, a lot of persons felt fearless as well. So we prepared this small bottle, we prepared this small bottle to put wine, and we full of wine, and we give the one of the couple with receives the wine, and we explain them to give for her spouse or wife or husband. And we say them, this is a sacred wine. And one blessed family truly could achieve this 430. And they could be really well succeeded through this method that we prepare this bottle for the cases that only one of the couple received the wine. So this small bottle really helped us to spread out the wine. It's a more beautiful way to make it. So I would like to add other detail too. When someone didn't want to receive the wine, we prepare the juice because some of them didn't want it to drink because of the alcohol. So in order for them to don't have any kind of excuses and we explained about the meeting, and a lot of persons prefer to drink the juice before the wine because of the alcohol.
Ok, muito obrigado. Alguém tem mais alguma pergunta que gostaria
So,
de fazer?
someone has any question here?
Pastor Neudi, pode fazer sua pergunta, por favor?
Pastor Neil, can you make your question? Good evening.
Eu gostaria de fazer uma pergunta para o
I would like to do a make a question to Pastor Ronilson.
diferença que existe
What
entre
is the difference between Temple family
celibato celestial. Se existe
and national Messiah? Oh, sorry, Messiah,
Claro, esse assunto pode
tribal
ser
Messiah,
grande, né? Então,
heavenly tribal Messiah. So the difference is the level that we already heard beyond the explanations. That the tribal Messiah is when we conclude the blessings horizontal. And to become temple family, we have more requirements to achieve, more elements in the evaluation process in order to become temple family. And the ones with are victorious and the mission of tribal Messiah that passes through and over the evaluation process can become temple family. For sure, we have much more other elements through the explanations of Reverend King, inclusive in the last year we learned a lot of the meeting of the Chamber families and of the Messiah, Tribal Messiah families too. So I highly recommend you to watch all again. So we need to be victorious in the mission of Tribal Messiahs. And then we need to accomplish all the requirements to become Temple family. So thank you so much. So thank you so much for everyone that make a question and presentation. So let's advance in our program. Let us receive our Reverend King with a big round of applause.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. And thank you for your ongoing work as the Heavenly Travel Messiah. So through the report and the question and answer, I was able to see the very much creative way for really has been developed and then achieved. So our fallen humans' dream and vision centering on God's ideal is to accomplish God's three great blessings, right? The accomplishment of three great blessings will have three kind of status. So one is the individual perfection, and second is the completion of the family perfection, and finally, the building the dominion of all things. So in that sense, True Mother allow for us to become Chamber family once the all blessed family accomplished the mission of Heavenly Tribal Messiahship. So that's why now we are having every week gathering. Today is actually 23rd or 24th. It's 23rd. Heavenly Tribal Messiah School. So we have been kept almost for about 6 months so far. So during this time, we really want to clarify the activities of Heavenly Tribal Messiahs, and then also really wanted to know the meaning of a Chambo family and then how to become Chambo family. So in that sense, we are gathered together here also to make us as a Chambo family. So once we become Chambo family, and this achievement of tribal messiahship is not only fulfillment of blessed families' responsibility, but also is the signal or the accomplishment of the individual growth, which means actually we are able to become the individual perfect. That's the meaning of Chambo family. So that's why Chambo family, the meaning and the value is so huge and then uncountable kind of value it has. So that's why no matter what situation and no matter how much it's difficult, number one thing that we have to do as a blessed family is to become Chambo family. So through mother have given second kind of opportunity for our blessed family to become Chambo family on October 10th this year. In order for us to really participate at the registration of the Chambo family this year, actually this coming Sunday, right? Sunday, the Chambo workshop is the kind of last chance for us to be able to finish the 430 generations of ancestors' liberation. So once we finish the liberation, and then just before the October 10th, which means around September, we will be able to finish the blessing of 430 ancestors. So in that sense, if some of you are not registered to liberate your ancestors, please do not miss the last until the last moment that we are able to register for the Chambo workshop. So we will see in the Chambo workshop on this coming Sunday, the day after tomorrow, and then we will really approach the certain level and the status to become Chambo family. I'm sure that God is really watching in the heavenly South America for blessed families, how to achieve our mission and the responsibility as a heavenly tribal Messiah. So, and also throughout the recent testimonies and the report, so I'm sure that we are able to fulfill our responsibility, and then furthermore, we will be able to build up the example of the Chambo family. So why Chambo family is the last kind of mission for us to become perfect. And once we become perfected, man and woman, what we have to do? We have to build up our community as the heavenly kind of heavenly village community. That is the holy, the true heavenly parents' holy community. So once we are able to build up, with a holy community centering on 430 horizontal families as my tribe. We as a Chambo family will be able to finally achieve our last and so that's why we are almost there. We are almost at the end. We are almost on the top of the mountain. So let us keep that, our commitment, and then let us work just a little more. Let us, keep, our working, right? Even though, we don't feel satisfaction. We don't feel sense of victory. But once we are able to reach that destination, we are able to arrive at the top of mountains, and then there. So everything will be different, and then our eyes will be different. And the world where we can see from there top of the mountain and that destination would be different from now. So that's why all brothers and sisters as a blessed family in heavenly South America, let us keep our commitment and then our power and then our spirituality and our love and sympathy for our beloved true mother. And we will keep going on and build up the example of the Chambo families for all humanity. Let us work and let us keep on our commitment and our love. So I know the Brazil and the heavenly and the other countries, South America, Corona pandemic situation is so real and so difficult. But I'm sure under that kind of situation, there must be certain way for God reserved for us. Let us open our spiritual and our artistic eyes, centering on our mindset, and let us find out God, preserved the road and the situation. Sure, so everybody will be able to achieve that and really offer our utmost the blessing and our amazing victory to heavenly parents and beloved true parents. Once again, I would like to put my gratitude to all the blessed families in heavenly South America. Let's work for one more week, and then let's see next week, Friday. Join me prayer. 존귀하신 하늘 부모님, 사랑하옵는 천진 참 부모님, 이제 2021년도의 5월 달도 마지막 한 주를 남기고 있사옵니다. 저희들이 신종족 메시아의 교실을 운행하면서 23주째, 근 6개월을 저희들이 진행해 나왔사옵고, 이 신종미 학교를 통해서 저희들 신종족 메시아의 길과 첨보 가정의 그 사명과 가치와 그 첨보 가정이 되어지는 그 길을 향해서 저희들은 끊임없이 생각하고 또 가이드라인을 받고 또 현장 가운데서 그 길을 가기 위해서 많은 노력을 경주해 나왔습니다. 이 모든 노력들의 결실과 결과는 첨보 가정이 됨으로 말미암아서 하나의 매듭을 짓게 되오니 오늘 여기 머리를 연한 당신의 사랑하는 모든 축복가정 형제 자매들이 이제 첨보 가정이 되어지는 그 길 가운데 분연히 일어나서 이 책임을 다해 나갈 수 있는 모습이 되어질 수 있도록 역사하여 주시옵소서. 부족하지만은 그러나 하늘이 함께하여 주시고 참 부모님께서 이끌어 주시는 그 길을 걸어 나가는 그것으로 말미암아서 정말 저희들은 축복 가정으로서 첨보 가정으로서의 한 단계 더 성장하여 대성을 완성한 입장, 가정을 완성해 나갈 수 있는 입장, 그리고 하늘의 3대 축복을 완성하는 그러한 제2의 참 부모로서의 삶을 살아가는 그 영광 가운데 있는 것을 알고 있사오니 다시금 저희들이 각오하고 결의하고 출발해 나가는 오늘 이 하루가 되어질 수 있도록 허락하여 주시옵소서. 일주일간의 모든 저희들의 삶과 하늘을 향하는 그 섭리적인 행보 자체가 부모님의 사랑과 능력 가운데서 승리, 오로지 승리로 나타날 수 있게끔 우리 함께해 주시고 역사해 주시기를 간절히 바라옵고 원하오면서 모든 말씀을 축복 주신 가정 김동우 장관 가정의 이름으로 보고 드리며 축원하여 싸움나이다. 아주.
Let us finish our meeting talking about. Thank you so much for everyone for the testimonies, for the questions and words. And let's meet next week. Good night for everyone. You can open your audios and cameras.
Eu sei que o senhor Mário